Outside the courthouse. I checked the time on my watch. 2 hours had passed, and Ethan still hadn't shown up. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and pulled out my phone to send him a text message. Ethan, we're over. The wedding is cancelled. We're breaking up. I put my phone back in my pocket, ready to leave. Just as I turned around, I saw Ethan's good friend, Marcus. Marcus? Are you here to get married? Did he stand you up again? It doesn't matter, we've already broken up. Grace, how about we get married? Though I was surprised, I thought of Ethan's attitude earlier. Grace, can you be understanding? Ivy really needs surgery, let's talk about getting married when I get back. I smiled, no longer hesitating, and said, sure. Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel and tell us where you're listening from in the comments. On the day I was supposed to get married to Ethan, I specifically took the day off. But when I got to the courthouse, I called him 10 times, and no one answered. I patiently dialed one last time, and a woman's voice answered, Grace, this is Ivy. Ethan is helping me with hospital admissions. What do you need him for? You're Ivy? I sneered internally. Ethan, you really outdid yourself. Is this the woman you're with for surgery? Yes, I'm sorry, Grace. Ethan delayed your marriage certificate for my sake. Her conniving tone disgusted me. I scoffed, it's fine, we've broken up anyway. He's all yours. Oh, and tell him the grass is always greener on the other side. Grace, you. I didn't listen to that manipulative woman's sickening voice any longer. I sent Ethan a text message, Ethan, we're over. The wedding is cancelled. We're breaking up. This time, Ethan replied quickly, Grace, can you be understanding? Ivy really needs surgery, let's talk about getting married when I get back. Damn it. I cursed silently, put my phone away, and got ready to leave. Just as I turned around, I saw Marcus. He was Ethan's good friend, Their relationship always on and off, I never knew why. Marcus? What are you doing here? Are you here to get married? I remembered he had a girlfriend, but their relationship was always lukewarm. A flicker of an unusual emotion crossed Marcus's eyes. He said in a low voice, did he stand you up again? I shrugged, it doesn't matter, we broke up. Marcus's expression subtly changed, then he said, in that case. Grace, how about we get married on a whim? We know each other well. I don't have other women, and once we're married, you'll be the one and only Ms. Grace of the Shin family. I was stunned, seemingly not expecting Marcus to say that. But he was indeed more stable than Ethan, and his family background was just as good as Ethan's. Thinking back to Ethan's attitude, I smiled faintly and said, sure. Marcus seemed surprised I agreed so quickly, his eyes showing uncertainty. You agreed? Yes, Marcus, you're the one who's been kindest to me, besides Ethan. Actually, you're even better looking than him, but my eyes were only on Ethan before. Looking back, I must have been blind. Hearing my words, Marcus's eyes brightened. He excitedly grabbed my hand and led me into the courthouse. Half an hour later, holding the marriage certificate in my hand, I had a momentary daze. I just got married? To my ex-boyfriend's good friend, Grace, I have no bad habits, and I won't ever see other women after marrying you. I looked at his earnest eyes at that moment, and something flashed through my mind. Marcus, I trust you. I had always felt Marcus was the most reliable among Ethan's friends. For some reason, that feeling was particularly strong. Marcus took the marriage certificate from my hand and smiled, saying, I'll keep this for you. Grace, 3 days, I'll give you just 3 days to handle things. I'll pick you up in 3 days, and you'll move in with me. Okay. Actually, I wanted to say I didn't need 3 days. I wasn't living with that jerk, I had my own APA. Returning to my apartment, I threw away everything related to Ethan, including all the gifts, big and small, he had given me. Finally, I sat on the bed, holding my phone, and gave a bitter smile, deleting all our memories and then blocking him. Then I listed this apartment online to sell, packed my belongings, and discarded everything I didn't want or need. Lastly, I showered and lay in bed, recalling my memories with Ethan, finding it all laughable. How to put it, Ethan and I had known each other for 5 years. Daniel and Sarah were a couple. Once, Daniel took me out to dinner, and we ran into Sarah. Daniel introduced us, and Sarah took an instant liking to me. She treated me like a younger sister, always bringing me lots of gifts and fun things whenever she traveled. The following year, she introduced Ethan to me. Ethan, from now on, Grace will be my future sister-in-law. You treat her well. If I ever find out you've hurt her, I won't let you off the hook. Got it, Sarah. Don't worry, she'll be the one hurting me. From then on, Ethan and I became boyfriend and girlfriend. I remember what Daniel said at the time, kiddo, don't get too deeply involved. He still needs to be vetted. At the time, I thought Daniel was overthinking. Ethan was Sarah's brother, how could he have other intentions? Daniel was still worried, so he bought me an apartment and forbade me from living with Ethan. This was his biggest concession. I knew Daniel meant well, so I agreed, but Ethan wasn't entirely on board. I said, Ethan, if you really like me, then respect my decision. Girls are precious, some people don't cherish what they easily get. He said, I won't. Grace, I'm very devoted. Because of that sentence, I believed him for 5 years. Until last month, right before Sarah asked Ethan and me to get married, I received an anonymous text message. You must be Grace, right? You've been with Ethan for 5 years and haven't gotten married. Want to know why? I frowned and replied, who are you? If you want to know, meet me at Ivy's cafe. I hadn't planned on going, but I wanted to know who this person was and what connection she had to Ethan. The next morning, after washing up, putting on light makeup, and changing into a purple dress, I drove to the cafe for the meeting. Upon arriving at Ivy's cafe, I looked around, and just as I was about to text, I saw a woman wave at me. She was wearing a white dress and was very beautiful, the type who was petite, charming, and evoked sympathy. I slowly walked to her table and sat opposite her. She smiled and asked the waiter to bring me a latte. Grace, hello, I'm Ivy. I asked to meet you today just to confirm something. Hearing the name Ivy, my pupils suddenly constricted. Asterisk Ivy. Ivy, asterisk I instantly understood the purpose of her meeting me. Ivy was the forbidden topic in Ethan's heart, his first love, and someone no one else dared to mention. Countless times, when he was drunk, those 3 syllables were all he muttered. I took a deep breath and regained my composure. You want to get back with Ethan? She seemed surprised by my direct question, her eyes full of astonishment. You know about me? I had the pleasure of finding out. Ethan must have told you. I knew he hadn't forgotten me. Ivy's smile didn't falter. What do you want to say? Grace, he doesn't love you. He only sees you as my stand-in. Now that I'm back, you should step aside. Don't you think that's ridiculous? You left without hesitation back then, and now you're returning as if you have every right. That makes me think you have some agenda for approaching him. Grace, no matter what you say, he loves me. I stood up and said flatly, then wait for him to tell me that himself. We slept together. Hearing that, my eyes flickered. I didn't bother with Ivy anymore and left directly. Reaching the door, I paused, looking up at the name Ivy's Cafe. I only felt a sense of irony. That day, Ethan and I had a huge fight. Ethan. Do you know we're getting married next month? Ethan looked confused. I know, what's wrong? What's going on with Ivy? Ethan's face changed. You went to see her? In that moment, all my fantasies shattered. I said coldly, you're indeed back with her. She's alone and has no one to care for her. We're friends, what's wrong with helping her? He said it as if he had every right. Friends? Ethan, friends can sleep together? What nonsense are you talking about? Nothing happened between us. Do you think I'll believe that? Tell me, why did you agree to be with me when Sarah introduced us? Because I liked you, what else could it be? I really haven't gotten back together with her. I promised to marry you, and I will. He coaxed me for a long time that day, saying many sweet things. I believed him because I truly loved him. But, on the day we were supposed to get married, he was with that woman. On such an important day, he wasn't there. I lay in bed and called Daniel. It took a long time for him to answer. Grace, what's wrong? Daniel's voice sounded a little out of breath. Had I interrupted his private time? I hesitated but told him truthfully, Daniel, Ethan and I broke up. Someone seemed to be talking on his end. I didn't hear clearly. Daniel? Are you listening? After a long pause, his deep voice came through. Why? I stopped myself from saying more. Is with you? Yes. Daniel didn't hide it. Then can I come see you tomorrow and tell you everything? Okay, I'll have the driver pick you up. Remember, you're my sister, Daniel's sister. No one is allowed to bully you. After hanging up, I sent Marcus a text message. Marcus, tomorrow I'm going to tell Daniel. If comes looking for you, just say I forced you into everything. You silly girl, why would you take the blame for something like this? Since you're my honey, I should bear the responsibility. Seeing that, my cheeks flushed slightly. Let's talk about it tomorrow. Good night. Good night, ho. Nay. I slept soundly and woke up at 8 o'clock. I asked Daniel to arrange a day off for me and Sarah since I worked at her design company. By 8:30, I was ready, and the driver was waiting. Ms. Grace, your brother asked me to pick you up for breakfast. I nodded, intending to sit in the back, when suddenly someone grabbed me. My expression changed slightly. Before I could speak, I heard an exasperated voice behind me. Grace, you actually blocked me? The voice was Ethan's. I didn't want to deal with him, but damn it, he was gripping my wrist so hard it hurt. Let go. My voice instantly turned cold. Ethan actually released me. His voice was low. Why did you block me? I turned to face him, my eyes devoid of the love they once held. Ethan, what's the point? Grace, you want to get married, and I said we could, after I got back. Ivy was having surgery alone with no one to sign for her. Couldn't you have been understanding? I was very understanding. No crying, no fussing. So don't worry, I won't bother your and her life ever again. Ethan's face darkened. You want to get married? We'll go today. I glanced at the woman behind him and sneered. Are you taking her with us? Is it for your marriage certificate or mine? A tear slid from Ivy's eye. She said softly, I'm sorry, Grace, I delayed your and Ethan's important day. I looked at her sarcastically. If I stab you and then apologize, would that be okay? Grace. What? Are you feeling bad for her? Ethan, you sicken me. Having said that, I tried to leave, but Ethan grabbed my arm and wouldn't let go. I forcefully stepped on his foot. You bastard. Let go of me, you're hurting me. Ethan's face was grim. Grace, what does this mean? Explain yourself. Just as I was about to speak, a black Maybach pulled up in front of me. Marcus got out of the driver's seat. Seeing my frown, he said in a low voice, you're hurting her. Ethan was surprised to see Marcus. Marcus, what are you doing here? Of coup. RSE, he's here to pick me up, I blurted out, enraged. Ethan's face was terrifyingly dark. Grace. Say that again. Seeing this, Marcus grabbed Ethan's arm, and only then did Ethan release me. Marcus immediately shielded me behind him. At that moment, Ethan seemed to understand something, his eyes sharp. Marcus, you're my brother. You should know Grace is my woman. Marcus's usual gentle demeanor vanished. He said coldly, if I hadn't been recovering from injuries, you wouldn't have stood a chance. What do you mean? Even I was stunned. I hadn't expected Marcus to say such a thing, leaving me a little bewildered. Marcus said, we met 5 years ago. She saved me and took me to the hospital. I once said that if I lived, I would definitely marry her. Ethan's face changed slightly. Are you saying the girl you talked about back then was Grace? That's right. But after I recovered, when we met again, she was already your girlfriend. Seeing her smile, I had no choice but to keep my feelings to myself. The scenes in my mind instantly became clear. So it was him. No wonder those eyes felt so familiar. It was him. But as my woman now. Don't you know that? Marcus sneered. Outside the courthouse, you made her wait for several hours. Where were you? Ethan also knew he was in the wrong. I'm sorry to Grace for this, but you shouldn't take advantage of the situation. I stepped in front of Marcus and said calmly to Ethan, he didn't take advantage of anything, I asked him to. Ethan, you should be happy. I won't interfere with you and your first love anymore. A hint of a smile flashed in Marcus's eyes. He pulled me behind him, his gaze darkening as he faced Ethan. Ethan, we've been like brothers. Don't make things ugly. You wronged her, not the other way around. Marcus, are you going to disregard our brotherhood? I'm sorry, she's my honey now. Between a brother and my honey, I choose my honey. As soon as he finished speaking, Ethan threw a pun. Which Marcus dodged. Marcus, who's your honey? You damn well try spouting nonsense again. Just as I was about to intervene, Marcus struck first. His punches were fast, precise, and ruthless. He landed a punch squarely on Ethan's face, making Ivy shriek, Ethan. Ethan was also furious, and the two immediately started fighting. Their punches were fierce, each strike seemingly expending all their strength. The air thickened around us, broken only by their heavy breathing and the dull thud of fists connecting, piercing the brief silence. I stood anxiously to the side, wanting to stop them but unsure how. Ivy was even paler with fright, her hands tightly twisting the hem of her dress, her eyes red, but she dared not step forward. Stop it. I finally couldn't help but shout, my voice trembling slightly. Marcus and Ethan paused for a moment, but it was only brief before they entangled in a fight again. Marcus's eyes were icy, and Ethan was even more enraged. Don't do this. I rushed forward, trying to pull them apart, but Marcus yanked me behind him. He had his back to me, his voice low. Grace, this is between him and me. Don't get involved. Ethan took advantage of Marcus's distraction and landed a punch to his abdomen. Marcus staggered. I supported him, and then I snapped, enough. Ivy finally couldn't hold back. crying as she rushed over and pulled Ethan away. Ethan, stop fighting, please stop. Ethan, however, seemed deaf. His eyes were fixed only on Marcus, his former good friend, now his rival. Ethan, I'm saying this one last time, we're over. See this? This is my marriage certificate. Marcus and I are married. He's my honey now, understand? I pulled out the marriage certificate from my bag and showed it to him. Ethan stared intently at the marriage certificate, gritting his teeth as he said, Grace, why? I said coldly, Ivy came to see me. She said she slept with you. I didn't believe it. She said all the gifts you gave me were the same as hers. I did. And believe that either. But when she said I was her stand-in, I started to doubt. Ethan, I hired someone to follow you. You and she went to a hotel and booked a room. At that moment, I believed everything she said. That day at the courthouse was my last chance for myself and for you. You were the one who gave me up. Ethan looked at Ivy, his face pale, and Ivy said weakly, Ethan, no, listen to me. I helped Marcus into the car and told the driver to leave first. Before getting in, I said, Ethan, let's end this here. You don't love me, and please don't disturb my life anymore. After I got into the car, Marcus stepped on the gas, and we drove away. Grace. Marcus seemed to have something to say. I looked at his profile and said softly, why didn't you tell me before? Marcus's grip on the steering wheel tightened. I originally thought as long as you were happy, it would be enough. But he kept disappointing you. So that day, you secretly followed me to the courthouse because you knew he wouldn't go? He replied cautiously, yes. I leaned back in the passenger seat, closed my eyes, recalling the scene from the year I saved him. Marcus had been severely beaten that night. It just so happened that I felt like getting a snack and went out to buy food, where I stumbled upon him, injured. I didn't get a clear look at him that night, he had already passed out. I couldn't move him alone, so I called 911. At the hospital, I paid for his surgery. The next day, when he opened his eyes, the first thing he said to me was, thank you. When I recover, I will definitely marry you. I thought he was just joking at the time because I didn't remember what he looked like when we met again. I only knew he was Ethan's brother, and I was Ethan's girlfriend. Opening my eyes again, I regained my composure and looked up at him. Marcus, did you get married to me out of gratitude? He suddenly hit the brakes, and the car instantly pulled over to the side of the road. He turned to M.E., slowly drawing closer. His breath was getting nearer and nearer, and then he lowered his head and kissed my lips. My eyes widened. I tried to push him away, but he held my hands tightly. After a long while, he finally released me, looking into my eyes and saying seriously, do you understand now? It's not gratitude, it's love. I love you, Grace. My face was burning. I could feel it must be very red right now. Let's go. I need to go to Daniel's place. Let's meet him together. I urged him to drive, afraid I would become too embarrassed if I stayed like this. He smiled, said nothing more, and continued driving. Half an hour later, we arrived downstairs at Daniel's place. Marcus hadn't planned on going up, but I pulled him along, saying, what are you afraid of? You're legitimate now. Marcus laughed, a smile that made my heart flutter. This guy was really handsome. Upstairs, I rang the doorbell. Sarah opened the door. She greeted me happily, Grace, oh? Marcus? Why are you here too? Sarah. Seeing beside me, Sarah was still surprised. Then she saw our clasped hands, and her expression changed slightly. Just then, Daniel also came out. His hair was a little damp, probably still wet from a recent shower. Come inside. In the living room, Daniel had prepared pancakes and coffee, my favorites. Seeing his expression remained unchanged as he said, eat with us. After we all sat down, Daniel said nothing, asked nothing, just told me to eat more. I felt a little uneasy. Daniel. Silence at the table. It wasn't until breakfast was over that Daniel called me into his study. All right, tell me, what happened? Seeing, I still felt wronged. The more I thought about it, the more wronged I felt, and tears began to fall. Daniel instantly panicked, frantically wiping my tears with a tissue. Why are you crying? Who bullied you? Tell me, and I'll beat them up for you. I threw myself into his arms, and he gently patted my back, comforting me. Silly girl, if it's over, it's over. I'll find you someone better. I cried for a long time before pulling away from Daniel's embrace. I wiped away my tears and choked out, Ethan lied to me. He was with another woman, he stood me up on our wedding registration day, and today he brought that woman to see me. Daniel's face changed drastically, his voice taking on a cold edge. He was seeing other women? I nodded and continued, he didn't come that day, so I got married to Marcus. My voice grew softer and softer. I didn't dare to look at Daniel's face, I was afraid he'd be angry. It wasn't until a sigh came from above my head that I dared to look up. His eyes were filled with tenderness. Why were you so impulsive? I tugged at the hem of his dress and said coquettishly, Daniel, I've already married Marcus, so don't make it difficult for him. I won't. He is indeed better than Ethan, because the Shun family parents have always valued lifelong faithfulness. We stayed in the study for a long time until Marcus knocked on the door. Daniel opened the door and saw Marcus looking at me with concern. Seeing my red eyes, Marcus's expression shifted. He pulled me behind him and faced Daniel, saying very seriously, Daniel, I asked Grace to marry me. It's all my fault, don't blame her. Daniel raised an eyebrow. Marcus, with Grace, you cannot have anyone else, nor can you make the most fatal mistake a man can make. Hearing this, Marcus's eyes lit up. You agree? How can I not agree? You two already got married. Daniel. Sarah looked shocked. Daniel walked past us and stood in front of Sarah. For the first time, his tone sounded deep and cold. Sarah, I only have this one sister. No one is allowed to bully her, including Ethan. Sarah froze, seemingly not expecting Daniel to say such cold words. She asked tremblingly, Daniel, what do you mean? Did bully Grace? Everyone knew Daniel loved Sarah. He couldn't bring himself to hurt Sarah. Instead, he punched the wall, and his hand immediately sta. Root bleeding profusely. I gasped, Daniel. Daniel. Sarah also cried out in fright. Daniel's face was grim, his voice laced with coldness. He can argue with Grace, have petty arguments, and I wouldn't say anything. But he was seeing other women, he betrayed Grace. Sarah, you know what I hate the most. I knew what Daniel meant. That year, after my father had me, he started seeing another woman outside. My mother couldn't bear it and had a big fight with my father, and my father accidentally killed my mother. Later, Daniel sent my father directly to prison, so he had always protected me very well. Sarah's body stiffened, and she murmured, Grace, is what Daniel is saying true? I couldn't bear to tell her. Sarah had always been very kind to me. Tell me, is it? Sarah roared. Marcus said in a deep voice, on the day they were supposed to get married, he abandoned Grace to be with his first love, Ivy. He made Grace wait outside the courthouse for over 2 hours, and when she called him 10 times, Ivy answered. Grace, is that true? Sarah. I'm sorry. I couldn't accept him being with another woman and still wanting to marry me. Sarah gave a bitter smile. How could it be your fault? Clearly, Ethan doesn't deserve you. I have something to do, I'll be leaving now. With that, Sarah picked up her coat, preparing to leave. Daniel called out in a low voice, Sarah. Sarah paused. Daniel, let me calm down. After that day, I didn't see Sarah much because I resigned from her design company. Daniel didn't mention Sarah at all. The very next day, Marcus picked me up and took me to his private estate. Looking at the room's decor, I was pleasantly surprised. The style was entirely arranged according to my preferences. Everything in the bedroom was to my liking. When I was with Ethan, I always accommodated him. He never paid such close attention to my preferences. So, whether someone loves you can be seen in the details. Do you like it? Marcus's deep voice made my heart flutter in that moment. I love it. My heart pounded like a drum, each word leaping from my chest, carrying undisguised joy. Grace, thank you for coming into my world. His voice was so gentle it could melt, softly touching my heartstrings. That gentle voice made my body tremble. I looked up at him, and his eyes reflected only me, like the brightest stars in the night sky, shimmering with endless light and deep affection. Those eyes, deep and warm, seemed to penetrate all my thoughts, embracing all my vulnerabilities and anxieties. Before I could speak, he lowered his head and kissed me. His lips were soft and fervent, carrying an irresistible force that drowned all my words in that passionate kiss. I closed my eyes, lost in the kiss, feeling the love and warmth he conveyed, as if the whole world contained only the two of us. His kiss was lingering and passionate, like a gentle rain nourishing my parched heart. After a long while, he slowly released me, his forehead resting against mine, his breathing slightly rushed. Grace, you are mine, and only mine. His voice carried a hint of possessiveness, but more so, deep affection and promise. I nodded gently. Marcus, thank you too for letting me into your world. He smiled gently, his smile like spring sunlight, warm and bright. He took my hand and placed it over his chest, where his heart was beating fiercely. Do you feel it? This heart beats only for you. Marcus. He scooped me into his arms, gently placing me on the bed, his eyes burning with intense desire, his voice hoarse and low. Grace. Honey, let's make up for our wedding night. My cheeks instantly flushed. Over this past month, I had felt Marcus truly cared for me. What I liked to eat, what my hobbies were, what I liked to do, what I didn't like, he knew it all perfectly. I suddenly understood Daniel's words. The Shin family had always emphasized lifelong faithfulness. I looked up at him and nodded gently. Honey, be gentle. Marcus's eyes suddenly lit you. Followed by immense surprise. Grace. That night, he was quite persistent. It was very late before I could finally rest. I vaguely remembered him excitedly saying, Grace, you actually. What? I was so sleepy, I didn't want to open my eyes. Nothing, go to sleep. After that, he helped me shower, wiped me down, and changed me into my pajamas. It wasn't until the next day that I realized the intimate details of our wedding night on the bedsheets had thrilled him so much. 2 months later. These past years, I rarely had free time, so I spent it painting at home. Marcus's company seemed very busy these days. He always came home very late. But no matter how late, he would bring a bouquet of flowers back for me, a different kind every day. It was already 7 this evening, and he still wasn't back. Worried, I prepared to call him. Just as I took out my phone, I saw his text message. Honey, I've sent the driver to pick you up. Change into the dress he gives you. I like seeing you wear it. Confused, I replied, is something going on? Just be understanding. Change, and have the driver bring you. I'll be waiting for you at the bistro. Ms. Grace, the master asked me to give you this and take you somewhere. The driver had arrived and handed me a large square box. I frowned, still heading upstairs to change. But the moment I opened the box, my body trembled. This is a wedding dress. I was too excited to say anything. With trembling hands, I sent him a message. Why? Do you like it? You're my honey. What others have, my honey should have. What others don't, my honey should have even more. Seeing that message, I squatted on the floor and cried. Asterisk, how could he be so good to me? How could he care about me so much? Asterisk, after a very long time, I finally changed into the wedding dress, put on my makeup, and went downstairs. The driver had been waiting for a long time. After getting into the car, I looked at the scenery outside the window, feeling incredibly fortunate. At that moment, fortunate that I had agreed to his request that day. Arriving at the bistro, I got out of the car, and the driver left. The restaurant was completely dark, I couldn't see anything. I called Marcus. Marcus, where are you? Darling, come in, walk slowly. I slowly entered the restaurant. The moment I stepped inside, all the lights in the restaurant instantly came on. I gasped, oh my god. The first floor hall was filled with heart-shaped balloons and streamers, and a banner made me cover my mouth in astonishment. The dazzling words on the banner made tears of excitement stream down my face. Grace, I love you, will you marry me? My heart at this moment felt surrounded by thousands of butterflies, fluttering and dancing, so happy it almost overflowed. I stood still, my gaze fixed on that deeply affectionate confession, tears blurring my vision, yet I couldn't bear to look away. Just then, a gentle piano melody slowly began to play, its tune soft and romantic, like our love, pure and beautiful. I followed the sound and saw Marcus, dressed in an immaculate white suit, slowly descending from the second floor, each step as if treading on starlight, elegant and solemn. His eyes were as tender as water, seemingly capable of melting all the ice and frost in the world. At this moment, his eyes held only me. My heart pounded, almost leaping from my chest. My hands unconsciously clenched, my nails digging deep into my palms, yet I felt no pain. I watched him approach step by step, tears once again blurring my vision, and this time, it was from emotion and joy. Finally, Marcus stood before me. His deep eyes shimmered with a resolute light, as if at this moment, he was making the most important decision of his life. He slowly knelt on one knee and took a brilliant ring from his pocket. The diamond on the ring sparkled brightly under the lights, just like the love in his eyes, clear and fervent. He said softly, Grace, I love you, will you marry me? His voice was gentle and sincere, each word seemingly coming from the depths of his heart, full of deep affection. I looked at him, an unspeakable sense of happiness welling up inside me. My hands trembled, tears streaming down my cheeks, dropping to the floor with a faint sound. I nodded slightly, my voice choked, I will. A warm round of cheering immediately erupted from around us. Marcus, kiss your bride, haha. Marcus, hurry up, kiss Grace. It turned out these were all Marcus's good friends. I glanced out of the corner of my eye and saw Daniel. He stood directly in front of me, looking at me, his eyes filled with gratification. I later found out that after Sarah left that day, Daniel personally went to find Ethan, beat him up, and warned him not to come near me again or disturb my life. Since then, I haven't seen Ethan. I heard Marcus and Ivy broke up, and he went abroad. Those things are no longer my concern, my world is Marcus now. As for Daniel, he and Sarah didn't break up because of Ethan. After all, they had been in love for so many years, why would they have issues over this? Everyone was cheering. I smiled, looked up, and kissed Marcus's sexy thin lips. Marcus was more surprised, it was my first time kissing him so proactively. After a long moment, when we pulled apart, I leaned close to his ear and whispered, "Honey, thank you for loving me so much. And in the future, I will love you well." Hearing this, Marcus buried his head in my neck and murmured softly, "Grace, it was all worth it. My dream came true." A year later, I gave birth to Marcus's and my daughter, Lily. It was then that I learned the bistro was opened by Marcus for me. That day, Marcus was holding Lily and I was carrying some things, as we visited Sarah at the hospital. She had given birth to Daniel's son. In the hallway, we ran into Ethan. He seemed even colder than before. Seeing me, his gaze shifted, and he said in a low, husky voice, "Grace, long time no see. With time, already found peace." I smiled slightly and greeted him, "Ethan, long time no see." Since then, I never saw Ethan again. Marcus loved me as always, just like the saying, the family values lifelong faithfulness. Thank you for listening to today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts and opinions in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.